When the heart shatters, it's not the sound of glass breaking that you hear, it's the silence inside you that suddenly becomes deafening. You wake up and the world feels heavier. Every breath feels like it carries the weight of memories, and every corner of your mind feels haunted by the echo of something that once felt like home. A love you thought would last has collapsed, and you're left staring at the ruins, wondering how to rebuild, wondering if you even have the strength to stand. And in these moments, the temptation is to curl inward, to let the pain swallow you whole, to question your worth, your value, and your identity. But this is where your real journey begins. Not when things were perfect, but now in the ashes, in the emptiness, when everything inside you is screaming that you are broken beyond repair. This is when you discover that your soul is made of far stronger material than you ever realized. Pain has a way of making you feel like your story is over, but what it's really doing is giving you the pen to write a new chapter. And this is the truth so many refuse to face. What you lost was not your future, it was an idea you attached your future to. Love can blind you to your own growth. It can make you tie your self-worth to another's presence. And when they walk away, it feels as though they've taken all the light with them. But light is never taken. It simply shifts, and you must learn to find it within yourself. You cannot make someone stay who has chosen to leave. You cannot beg love to remain where it has decided to go. But you can decide that your heart will not be the graveyard where this loss is buried. You can decide that this will not be your end, but your transformation. In these moments, you must stop asking why they left and start asking why you stayed in a place where your soul was not nourished. This is not about blaming yourself. It's about realizing that your power has always been in your hands. The version of you who allowed themselves to settle for less than they deserved was doing the best they could with the knowledge they had. But now you have a different kind of knowledge, one that pain gives you without permission. This is the knowledge of your limits, your needs, your boundaries, and your worth. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You cannot go back to being the person who tolerated being unseen, unheard, and unvalued. Healing is not a performance. It's not about posting that you're fine or pretending you've moved on to prove something to the world. Healing is quiet. It's the morning you wake up and realize you didn't think of them first thing. It's the night you fall asleep without replaying the goodbye in your head. It's the moment you laugh without feeling guilty. And yes, it's also the moments you cry without trying to stop yourself, because grief is not weakness. It's love with nowhere to go. You must give yourself permission to feel every single wave of it without judgment. The pain will not kill you. The resistance to pain will. Let it flow through you, and one day you will notice that it's softer, lighter, easier to carry. Your focus now must shift from what was lost to what can be built. Use this time to reclaim parts of yourself you abandoned in that relationship. The hobbies you stopped doing, the friendships you neglected, the dreams you put on hold, pick them back up. Pour into your health, your mind, your spirit. Not to prove to them you're better off, but to prove to yourself that you are always enough. Every ounce of energy you use to pour into someone else must now be poured into you. Become obsessed with becoming the most grounded, fulfilled, and self-assured version of yourself. Not in a way that is fueled by revenge, but in a way that is fueled by self-respect. Understand that heartbreak has a strange gift. It strips away illusions. It forces you to see the truth about people, about yourself, about what love really is. Real love will never require you to lose yourself to keep it. Real love will never make you feel small, unwanted, or replaceable. And the truth is, if someone can walk away from you, they were never the foundation you should have been building your life on. Let them go without clinging, because the space they leave will be filled with something far greater if you allow it. In the quiet moments, remind yourself that your value does not decrease because someone failed to see it. You are not defined by who chooses you. You are defined by who you choose to be when life tests you. You can choose bitterness, or you can choose growth. You can choose to close your heart forever, or you can choose to keep it open, wiser and stronger than before. What you do in the aftermath will shape not only your future relationships, but the relationship you have with yourself for the rest of your life. So stand up, not quickly, not forcefully, just stand. Piece by piece, reclaim yourself. This is your season of rebuilding, and it will be the most important work you ever do, because the most powerful version of you will not come from a time when life was easy. It will be born from the fire you are walking through right now. And when you emerge, you won't just have survived. You'll have transformed into someone you never thought you could be, someone whose worth is no longer tied to the presence of another, but rooted deeply in the unshakable knowledge of who you are. Then understand this. Pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to strip you bare of all illusions so that you can finally meet the truest version of yourself. This season is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being prepared for deeper love. But first, you must learn to love yourself in a way that is not dependent on anyone else's validation. The loneliness you feel is not a void that someone else must fill. It is a sacred space for you to fill with your own presence. You've been so used to seeking comfort in another's arms that you forgot you have arms of your own. You've been so used to hearing affirmations from someone else that you forgot you have the power to speak life into yourself. Every day you wake up now is a test. Will you choose to keep revisiting the past, or will you choose to invest in the future that's waiting for you? You need to start living as though the love you wanted from them is already within you. Wake up and create rituals for your soul. Move your body not because you want to look good for anyone, but because your body deserves to feel alive. Feed your mind with knowledge that strengthens you. Surround yourself with people who bring peace, not chaos. Get intentional about your space. Remove anything that drags your energy backward, whether it's their photos, their gifts, or even songs that keep you anchored to memories you no longer want to relive. This is not about erasing the past. It's about removing the hooks that keep you from moving forward. Every time you let go of something that hurts to release, you make room for something greater to arrive. Stop trying to decode every word they said, every gesture they made, every decision they took before they left. Closure is not a gift they give you. It is a decision you give yourself. You don't need their apology to move on. You need your permission to stop waiting for it. You don't need to hear them explain why they hurt you. You need to accept that they did and choose to rise regardless. Waiting for someone to make peace with you before you can heal is like standing in the rain, waiting for someone to come and hand you an umbrella. You will drown in your own hesitation. Pick yourself up, dry yourself off, and walk out of the storm. The sun is not gone. It's simply waiting for you to step out from under the cloud. And here's something you must never forget. Your energy is currency. The more you spend it on replaying what went wrong, the less you have to invest in what can go right. Stop giving them free rent in your mind. Stop letting the shadow of what happened block the light of what's possible. Every thought you have is a seed, and right now you're either planting weeds of resentment or flowers of growth. You cannot build a future from the bricks of your past if you refuse to put them down. So release it. Not because it's easy, not because you've stopped caring, but because you care about your own peace more than you care about holding on to what's gone. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll crumble. Both are part of the process. Do not mistake a bad day for a failed healing. Healing is not a straight line. It's a dance between breaking and rebuilding. And every time you rebuild, you are building with stronger materials. The walls you are creating around your heart now are not to keep love out, but to keep your standards high. You are learning that not everyone who says, "I love you," knows how to love you. You are learning that attraction is not the same as alignment. You are learning that someone can want you in their life, but not be willing to do the work to keep you there. And these lessons, though they cut deep, will save you in the future. The day will come when you will look back and realize that the person who walked away did not take anything you couldn't live without. They may have taken your comfort, your routine, your shared dreams, but they did not take your purpose, your resilience, or your ability to love again. That part of you is untouchable. And once you fully understand this, you will stop seeing this heartbreak as the end of your story and start seeing it as the chapter that taught you how to write the rest of it with a pen dipped in self-respect and courage. The pain will still visit from time to time, but it will no longer be the loudest voice in the room. Instead, it will be a faint whisper, a reminder of how far you've come, how deeply you've grown, and how much stronger you are than you ever believed possible. And you must understand, this is the season where you meet yourself in ways you never have before. This is where the surface version of you fades and the real, raw, unfiltered you steps forward. The version of you that doesn't perform for acceptance, doesn't compromise for belonging, doesn't bend to keep someone who's already walking away. You learn that silence is more powerful than pleading, that distance is more powerful than chasing, and that indifference is more powerful than proving. You begin to see that people who truly value you will not need to be reminded of your worth, and people who do not value you will never understand it no matter how much you explain. This realization cuts through the fog of heartbreak like sunlight breaking through clouds. You see things clearly for the first time, and once you see, you cannot unsee. This clarity will come in waves. At first, it might just be fleeting moments, walking down the street and realizing you no longer feel that tightness in your chest, laughing with a friend and noticing you didn't have to fake it, waking up in the morning and finding that your first thought wasn't about the loss, but about something you want to create, something you want to become. These are the quiet milestones no one will clap for, but they are the real signs of your growth. Because true healing doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't rush, it unfolds. It doesn't announce itself on social media. It happens in the privacy of your own mind and heart. There will also be moments where the pain resurfaces unexpectedly. Maybe you hear a song you both loved. Maybe you see a place you used to go together. Maybe you catch the scent of a perfume that pulls you right back into a memory you thought you'd left behind. In those moments, you must resist the urge to sink. Instead, breathe. Remind yourself that this is not a setback. It's a reminder of your humanity. Love leaves imprints. And those imprints are not meant to be erased. They are meant to be integrated into the story of who you are becoming. You are not trying to erase the memory. You are learning to live alongside it without letting it control you. This is also the time to protect your environment, like your peace depends on it, because it does. The wrong voices can slow your healing. The wrong people can reopen wounds. Be ruthless with your boundaries. You do not owe explanations for why you don't want to talk about it with certain people, why you're cutting off contact with those who feed your pain, or why you're choosing solitude over company that drains you. Your boundaries are not up for negotiation. They are the armor that keeps you from slipping back into the spaces you fought so hard to escape. If someone cannot respect that, they cannot have access to you right now. You must also learn to sit with yourself without distraction. Many run from heartbreak straight into noise, new relationships, endless scrolling, constant busyness, anything to avoid facing the rawness inside. But if you avoid it, it will follow you. Sit with it. Let the silence speak. Let the loneliness teach you. Let the grief sharpen you. When you strip away all the external, you are left with the core of who you are, and it is there that you will rebuild, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. You will start to recognize that the most dangerous thing is not losing someone you love. It's losing yourself in someone you love. And you will vow never to let that happen again. As the days pass, you'll notice your standards shifting. What once felt like enough will no longer satisfy you. The way you accept love, the way you give love, the way you carry yourself, it all changes. You stop accepting crumbs because you finally tasted what it means to feed yourself fully. You stop tolerating half efforts because you've learned that consistency is the foundation of trust. You stop explaining your worth because you've realized it's not your job to convince anyone to see it. This is the quiet revolution that heartbreak births, the transformation that no one sees until you walk back into the world with a presence so unshakable it silences the room. And somewhere along this journey, you will stop asking why it happened to you and start asking why it happened for you. The very pain that felt like it was killing you will reveal itself as the force that built you. The cracks in your heart will become the entry points for light. The empty space in your life will become the space where better things can grow. You'll see that losing someone was never the end. It was the clearing of a path you would never have walked had they stayed. And in that moment, you will know that you are not just surviving this, you are becoming something extraordinary because of it. And now you stand here, not as the person who was left behind, but as the person who refused to stay down. This heartbreak did not define you, it refined you. It stripped away everything that was fragile and left only what was unbreakable. You have walked through fire and discovered that you do not burn, you forge. You are no longer searching for someone to complete you, because you have learned you were never incomplete. And when love comes again, and it will, you will meet it not from a place of need, but from a place of abundance. Not from a fear of being alone, but from the certainty that you can stand on your own. You will no longer cling out of desperation, but choose out of alignment. And that choice, that power, that unshakable self-respect, that is the real victory. Because the greatest love story you will ever live is not the one someone writes for you. It's the one you write with your own hands, and you've just taken the pen back.